Afternoon, good morning, good evening. Whatever time you're watching this, it's going to be a good one. Back again with Mr. Charles Weathers, CEO of the Weathers Group. My name is Darius Weathers. I am the host of this summer series. How you doing today?
Doing good. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. So, as we said in our last video, we are going to continue with the 7 attributes of an able leader. So today, the first one we'll be talking about is teaching.
So the 7 attributes or qualities of an effective leader, the able leader. And teachable is what we're going to talk about today, right? And teachable, as you might assume from the way it sounds, simply means being ready and willing to be taught.
Okay.
Being ready and willing to be taught. So when you're teachable, it's about a mindset, right? It's about a posture. It's about having the eagerness and the willingness and energy to recognize, you know what, I can still learn. I can learn something. Mm-hmm. And we have found that leaders who assume a teachable posture are more effective leaders. Because if team members see them, the leader, being teachable, then the team member is more likely to be teachable and to learn. So that's how it's defined.
Okay, so I'm a sports guy, so I like to connect things together. It's being teachable, kind of like what y'all told us on the field, like be coachable.
Okay, you mentioned athletes, right? Mm-hmm. So an athlete, what is it? Non-coachable. Like if an athlete's not coachable, team members don't want to play with them.
Right.
Coaches don't want to coach them.
Right.
Quite frankly, some people might call them hard-headed, right?
Right.
Well, guess what? You don't just have hard-headed people on the field or on the court. Mm-hmm. You got hard-headed folks in boardrooms. You got hard-headed people in staff rooms and staff meetings and organizations. So again, don't be the uncoachable leader. Don't be the unteachable leader. Be the one that's coachable and teachable. So that's a great parallel. I like that. Yeah.
How does being teachable benefit not only in business practices, but also just in life in general?
How does being teachable benefit me in business and in life?
Right.
How much time you got? Wow. So let's walk through this a little bit, right? Okay. First of all, when you are teachable, it demonstrates that you're humble. Okay. Think about it this way. If you know everything, then something's off. You can't know everything. I can't know everything. When we are teachable, it benefits us because we're able to see value and hear other people's perspectives and insights and experiences, and we can learn something from that. Mm-hmm. And we can grow. I mean, quite frankly, we can grow. You've heard me say this before. I tell people all the time, one of the signs of being teachable is the willingness to say, I don't know. Right. Now, when's the last time that you felt confident and vulnerable and courageous enough to say, I don't know? I mean, we actually, that's viewed as negative sometimes, right?
Right.
Oh, you better know everything. You better know everything. I don't know.
I can't know everything.
You can't know everything. But here's the deal. The problem, the issue with I don't know is all about the punctuation. See, for me to say, Darius, I don't know, period, kind of blow you off, that's on you. Check it out. I don't know, comma, but let's find out together. Right. I don't know, comma, however, maybe they know, let's go ask them. Mm-hmm. So it benefits us being teachable in our life and in business because, number one, we're humble. We model that for others. Also, by being teachable, you grow. I mean, you're in a space where you grow, and we are lifelong learners. Now, you are a college student, right?
Right.
Now, think about the language. Student. You're a student. That's a position you have, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're about to be a senior in college this year. Then you're going on to grad school. You'll continue being a student for a minute. And students have teachers, right? But what if I were to tell you that once you graduate from college, you're still going to be a student? What if I told you never stop being a student? How you feel about that?
It wouldn't be, do I got to still do at 11:59 or... I just got to learn.
You got to turn something. Okay, you have to get that reporting at a certain time.
Right.
Close the business Friday. You still got to turn stuff in, right? Mm-hmm. The fact of the matter is that being a student is not a title; it's a mindset.
Right.
So realize, even when you graduate from grad school and your educational pursuits going forward, being a student is part of life. And the beauty of this, I'm gonna tell you, the big benefit for me, the beauty of this right here, is that you open yourself up to things that you didn't even realize. Man, but I'm teachable. When you're teachable, you can be in a space and see things you wouldn't have seen until you were teachable. You can have an experience that's, man, look what I saw, look what I realized, look what I found out just by being teachable.
It was like when you're open like that, you're like, that's cool. That's cool. But if you're not teachable, if you're that hard-headed, like just closed mind and think like I know everything, then you be stuck in your ways because it's like you can't feed off everybody else's. And then like how you said before, you may never know. Being teachable can take you to the next level because you gonna learn something you ain't never knew before. Now you can implement it to whatever your practices is, and now like everybody's eating, not just one person.
And check it out. You said hard-headed.
Right.
You used the word open mind or closed mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, imagine being in that space where I want to have that open mind. Watch this. I'm open to hearing other perspectives and viewpoints. Mm-hmm. I'm open to recognize that I'd rather get it right than be right.
As a leader, how do you cultivate this teachable environment? I know you touched on it when you were explaining it before, but how do you step into that position? Like, okay, if I'm going to be teachable, my whole team has to be teachable. So how can I see them, view that as them? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like the way you asked that question, and I like the words you use there. How do you as leader cultivate that environment? Mm-hmm. And I noticed, again, very important, you didn't say cultivate people. You said cultivate an environment. Right. You cultivate an environment. People can take care of themselves if we create the right environment. Leadership is about creating the environment, right? The environment. And that you're hitting on something. So what do? You've heard me say it before. Number one, we model. Okay. We model. It's old school, but it still makes sense today. Leaders set the tone. Leaders set the example. Mm-hmm. In other words, here's a real world example. You want to be teachable and cultivate that culture in your team and organization? Go into the meetings and be vulnerable. Admit in front of your team, I don't have all the answers.
Mm-hmm. But we can get to this together.
There you go.
We can figure this out.
Let's figure it out together. Right. Stop going before your team meetings thinking you got to have all the answers. Like I told you in the last conversation, ask questions. Mm-hmm. Give your team members, give them the leeway and the space and the margin and the autonomy to figure things out. Be teachable. Ask more questions than you tell. Be teachable. Model making mistakes. Now, who would ever tell you to do that?
I ain't never heard that.
Now, who would ever tell you to model make a mistake?
Mm-hmm. Because, like, we're people, though, so everybody's going to make mistakes. It's like, we all not robots, and you can't just be Mr. Perfect all the time.
But why do we cover it up?
They mix making a mistake with, like, failure. Mm. And so it's not really failure because, like, you make mistakes to success also. You think what I'm saying?
Sports, right? You played football and basketball, triple jump, track and field, 100, 400, right? Mm-hmm. You ever make mistakes on the field?
All the time.
On the track?
All the time.
On the runway?
All the time.
Okay, was there any value in making the mistakes?
Yes.
What's the value? What's the value?
The value is learning what not to do.
So there were some lessons you learned through the mistake that you would not have otherwise learned without the mistake.
If I didn't make it, then I wouldn't know.
Exactly. See, mistakes are part of the process. They're part of the refining process. They're part of the growth process. I had somebody tell me a long time ago, they said, if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough.
I feel like if you don't make mistakes, it's like you're not taking a risk and you're like settling for just sitting here and doing the same thing over and over again instead of trying something new, making a mistake at trying something new and then figuring out, okay, how can we not make this again, but still continue at like pushing this new idea format forward.
That's right. I'm gonna tell you a belief I have. I'm okay with making mistakes.
Right.
My challenge is making the same mistake over and over and over and over and over again.
Right.
Right. Make the mistake, learn from the mistake, modify your processes or your practices, get better for the next time. But here's what I've learned. Mistakes never go away.
Never.
But as a leader, as you grow, the quality of your mistakes improve. Mm-hmm. Right. I still make mistakes. But I think I make better mistakes, right? Because I'm trying at a different level, still learn and get better. That's what we want.
So if I'm not teachable, right? So say if I came to the conclusion that I'm not teachable, how do I begin my journey to change?
The first thing I would say is if I'm not teachable and I acknowledge that I'm not teachable, my journey has begun.
Okay.
Self-awareness.
Right.
If I can at least have the courage and the self-awareness and the self-transparency to look in front of the mirror and say, I'm not as teachable as I should be. Mm-hmm. Man, that's a beautiful moment because you can't fix something if you don't acknowledge it. So one of the things that we do is self-awareness. Okay. Self-awareness. And within that self-awareness, be very careful, Darius, and this is about life in general. Do not condemn yourself. Do not over-criticize yourself. Do not put yourself down. We all have moments where we're not teachable. We all have moments where, oh, I cannot believe I did that again and again. And again. Look, man, that's just real. That's real. Nobody is perfect. I mean, we strive for excellence, but ain't nobody perfect. We all make mistakes. Bottom line is some are better at covering it up than others. Right? But if I recognize I want to be more teachable, it's simply number one, self-awareness, and then small practices. Okay. What are little things I can do every day? Surround myself, watch this, surround myself with people who know what I don't.
Hey. That's a bar. That's a bar.
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
I mean, surround myself with people who know what I know. Right? Go into that mode where, I'm learning something right here. Right? Not about titles and position, because trust me, you could be a teacher in the classroom and your students know something you don't.
That's happened before. I've seen it happen. I've done it myself before.
Right. No embarrassment. It is what it is. That's okay. So that helps you become more teachable. Another way that you get more teachable, start looking at your decisions and how they improve over time. You know what? Last year I would have done this, but now I'm doing this. Right. Look at how I'm growing. So look at your growth pattern. Journal. If you want. So journal. I like log and journal, right? I can become more teachable by doing those things. And again, I want to say probably the last thing I put on that list when it comes to being teachable is really asking more questions. I talk a lot about questions, but put yourself in the space where, what are 3 questions I'm going to ask today in this meeting? What are 3 questions I'm going to ask somebody? Start putting yourself, not to quiz anybody. It's not trying to trick anybody, but I'm really trying to find out what I don't know, and to grow from there.
Find out what I don't know.
Find out what I don't. There's no saying you don't know what you don't know.
That's true.
I don't know what I don't know until you start asking. Until you put yourself in those positions. Be teachable.
Wonderful. Thank you again for
thank you
for dropping some doms in there. You had a couple bars. I like that.
Bars, man? Yeah. You had some bars too.
Hey,
couple bars too.
I'll be chilling.
You be chilling.
Yeah. Okay. But thank you guys again for tuning in to our summer series. I hope you learned something more about being teachable. What's the next one?
The next one's gonna be on uncomfortable.
Oh. Y'all thought this one was good. That next one, man, we're gonna have some uncomfortable conversations.
We're gonna make you uncomfortable. I'm just gonna tell you, I mean, it's gonna be uncomfortable.
Just get ready.
Be ready.
Thank you all again. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back again with another banger. Peace out.
Peace out.